rise and shine. 6 a.m. and your hand can't make it to the alarm clock before the voices in your head start telling you that it's too early, too dark, and too cold to get out of bed. Aching muscles lie still in rebellion, pretending not to hear your brain commanding them to move. A legion of voices are shouting their unanimous permission for you to hit the snooze button and go back to dreamland. But you didn't ask their opinion. The voice you've chosen to listen to is one of defiance. A voice that says there was a reason you set that alarm in the first place. So sit up, put your feet on the floor, and don't look back, because we've got work to do. Welcome to the grind. For what is each day but a series of conflicts between the right way and the easy way? 10,000 streams fan out like a river delta before you, each one promising the path of least resistance. Thing is, you're headed upstream. And when you make that choice, when you decide to turn your back on what's comfortable and safe and what some would call common sense, well, that's day one. From there, it only gets tougher. So just make sure this is something you want, because the easy way out will always be there, ready to wash you away. All you have to do is pick up your feet. But you aren't going to, are you? With each step comes the decision to take another. You're on your way now, but this is no time to dwell on how far you've come. You're in a fight against an opponent you can't see, but oh, you can feel him on your heels, can't you? Feel him breathing down your neck. You know what that is? That's you. Your fears, your doubts, and insecurities all lined up like a firing squad, ready to shoot you out of the sky. But don't lose heart. While they're not easily defeated, they are far from invincible. Remember, this is the grind, the battle royale between you and your mind, your body, and the devil on your shoulder who's telling you that this is just a game. This is just a waste of time. Your opponents are stronger than you. Drown out the voice of uncertainty with the sound of your own heartbeat. Burn away your self-doubt with a fire lit beneath you. Remember what we're fighting for, and never forget that momentum's a cruel mistress. She can turn on a dime with the smallest mistake. She is ever searching for the weak place in your armor, that one tiny thing you forgot to prepare for. So as long as the devil is hiding the details, the question remains, is that all you got? Are you sure? And when the answer is yes, when you've done all you can to prepare yourself for battle, then it's time to go forth and boldly face your enemy, the enemy within. Only now you must take that fight into the open, into hostile territory. You're a lion in a field of lions, all hunting the same elusive prey with a desperate starvation that says victory is the only thing that can keep you alive. So believe that voice that says you can run a little faster and you can throw a little harder, and that for you, the laws of physics are merely a suggestion. Luck is the last dying wish of those who want to believe that winning can happen by accident. Sweat, on the other hand, is for those who know it's a choice. So decide now, because destiny waits for no man. And when your time comes and 1,000 different voices are trying to tell you you're not ready for it, listen instead to that lone voice of dissent. The one that says you are ready, you are prepared. It's all up to you now. So rise and shine.
Yeah! Get that coffee going. I'm Mike Allen. Welcome to On the Air Monday Morning Brew. Got a lot to talk about in a short time to talk about it. A lot of stuff going on in the world. I'm going to try to cover just a few things, well, that I'm interested in. So stick around, get your cup of coffee, go back to bed if you want to, but stay tuned in right here on the Armed Radio Global Network.
Breaking news, sports fans. Daily Big Shot is in your face. Daily Big Shot is taking over fantasy sports. Fantasy sports players are raving about the bigger payouts and better scoring rules. Customers are running to sign up for free or play for daily entry fees. It's easy. Sign up, select players. Team with the most points wins. Sign up and enter DailyBigShot.com's free pro jersey or pro game ticket contest just by registering. DailyBigShot.com. Better payouts, better scoring, better fantasy sports. Some rules and restrictions may apply. See website for details.
Glastic Water Bottle, a shatterproof glass water bottle. It's great for any liquid because everything tastes best in glass. A leak-proof lid you can close and toss on the couch without worry. Chances are it won't ever break, but if it does, no worries. The glass is safely contained inside a protective outer shell, so you won't have a dangerous mess to clean up. You can safely remove the broken glass and get replacements. Go to GlasticWaterBottle.com to get your very own Glastic bottle today. That's GlasticWaterBottle.com. GLASSTIC waterbottle.com. What are you waiting for?
What if money were no longer a problem? What if you could earn extra money without risking what you are currently doing? We have an easy, cost-effective, and stable system for anyone that is money challenged or money motivated to kickstart their finances. Create a new potentially significant income source for as little as $1.25. Yes, that's 5 measly quarters. This is your solution for generating the kind of income you deserve. So take 5 quarters out of your couch cushions and go to www.5quarterbusiness.com. Again, that's www.5quarterbusiness.com.
To lose weight, gain energy and performance, age more youthfully, or enhance your skin at the cellular level, then Isogenics is for you. Simply take a portion of your grocery budget and put it towards your health. I understand life gets busy, but there is no better time to pursue your health goals than with Isogenics today. Barry Oxford would like to set up an appointment with you to answer any questions and help you better understand why Isogenics and why now. Please visit his website at www.barryoxford.isogenics.com. That's BARRYOXFORD.ISAGENIX.com to either buy products or sign up. Save 33% if you act right now. This message brought to you by Barry Oxford, your Isogenics independent associate.
Hey you, sitting in front of your computer dreaming that you could be paid to play games. Now it's possible. Start making money today playing new video games. How would you like to sit in the comfort of your own home, play and test games, eat pizza, drink soda, and get a nice big fat paycheck at the end of the month? This is a perfect opportunity for gamers, students, or someone that just doesn't have the time to commute to a dead-end part-time job, or for anyone who wants to sit in their pajamas and work from home. Join now, risk-free. Start your 7-day trial today at www.gamingjobsonline.com. That's www.gamingjobsonline.com. Game now.
This is Jason Merrill from the John and Jay Show every Tuesday nights at 11 Eastern on Live 365 Radio, home of the big guns.
All right, welcome back, folks. I'm Mike Allen, and it is early in the morning. 6:10. It's 10 after the hour, 50 minutes prior to 7 a.m. Today's traffic in Boston. Right now, as we speak, I have no clue. I'm in Texas. So as my commute is from my kitchen to my man cave. So I have no idea what the traffic is outside or what it's doing. Well, good morning, everyone. Got a lot of stuff to go over this morning. We just had... What's going on with my microphone here? Oh, there we go. All right. Sometimes I got to check these things out. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. First, I ran across this on the old intranet. I thought I'd pass it along. These are 10 all-American foods that the rest of the world hates. I don't know how anybody can... Red velvet cake. Red velvet cake does not sit well with many foreigners. They dislike it because it's packed with chemicals and food coloring. I didn't know that. I thought it was pretty good. Red velvet cupcakes are kind of my favorite. It tastes bland, and the only flavor coming through the artificial coloring taste, they would much prefer true chocolate or vanilla cake. Well, I'm with them there. And I'll eat the red velvet, but, I'm a chocolate cake guy. I think in the 47 years I've been alive, every birthday's been a chocolate cake. I don't have vanilla. I don't have vanilla variants. I don't have chocolate cake with vanilla frosting. I don't have a vanilla cake with chocolate frosting. I had a chocolate cake. Chocolate cake and vanilla ice cream. It's the best. Grocery bread. Now, I'm with them on this one, too, because we are the only country that really has bread that they manufacture and put it in. I mean, in France, you go to a bakery. In Germany, you go to a bakery and get fresh bread. And it usually doesn't last but a couple of days because it's gone. You just eat it. Fresh bread all the way. Many who live outside the United States think breads here, including hamburger and hot dog buns, are too sweet as it contains quite a bit of sugar and often high fructose corn syrup. That's the sugar derivative. In other countries, bread is more wholesome and less full of artificial ingredients, making it taste fresher and more hearty. That I agree with. I spent 3.5 years in Germany, and we get our bread fresh every morning. Biscuits and gravy. Heart attack breakfast. There's nothing like creamy sausage gravy, soft buttermilk biscuits. I usually throw some eggs on there, too. This is a Southern comfort food. It is definitely not a staple in other countries. And I agree with that. You can't get biscuits and gravy outside of the United States unless it's an American-themed place or that's catering to Americans. Foreigners find this breakfast has too much sodium and cannot stomach the thought of sausage, flour, and milk together. Well, I disagree with that because I like biscuits and gravy. It's actually one of my favorite breakfasts, is biscuits and gravy. To be fair, it doesn't look always appetizing. That's not my opinion. That's the opinion of the place I found. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Well, that's just un-American right there. That's just un-American. How can you not like PB&J? That's like the staple of every 5 to 14-year-old kid in America. I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches today. I love peanut butter and jelly. One all-American kid-friendly food that foreigners love to hate is peanut butter. Now add jelly to that, as most of us do, and you have a double whammy of hate. So they don't like peanut butter or jelly. Well, that's fine. More for me. Many Europeans strongly dislike the combination and don't understand why it is such a popular lunch staple in the U.S. You know why it is? I'll tell you why. Merca. That's why. Moving on. Grits. Don't like grits. Grits are common breakfast food found mostly in the southern U.S. It consists of mostly water and ground corn. Granted, the consistency as well as the taste is a little odd, but you add syrup to that. That's why you add butter and syrup. But if you don't grow up eating it, it might seem strange. You got to have the butter. You got to throw a little bit. You can put. I used to put like maple syrup in mine. You can put a little cinnamon. You can dress it up a little bit. Eat it with eggs. Chocolate. Well, that's just un-American right there. Unbelievably, many foreigners do not like the taste of chocolate in America. Well, I understand that because the chocolate in America is overprocessed. It's filled with a lot of stuff a lot of fillers. It's not. It's the Hershey chocolate bar of today is not the same one your grandparents and parents ate back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. I will agree with that. It's very processed. Having spent some time in Germany, that's where you go to get chocolate. The German chocolate is absolutely phenomenal. You cannot eat a German chocolate cake in Germany without a big old tall glass of ice cold milk. You'll never get through it. It's so sweet. Some claim that our chocolate has a processed taste. I just got done saying that. Thank you. It's not sweet enough and can be dusty, similar to old chocolate that has gone bad. And that's true, because chocolate does go bad. And the major difference lies within the cocoa and sugar content. Bacon and eggs. How the hell can you not like bacon and eggs? See, that's why we win all our wars, or most of them, that we fight correctly with artillery and tanks. Those who live outside the United States find that bacon and eggs are just not a suitable breakfast. And to top off that, they do not enjoy greasy bacon taste. That's why you're not Americans. Breakfast in other countries normally consists of something light, like as fresh fruit or some type of biscuit. And a limp wrist. And maybe some well-done fingernail. I don't know. Traditional idea of breakfast is very different in America. I do agree with that. In Germany, when I was over there, they used to have to make, when we traveled with the football team, they couldn't understand why I wanted ham and eggs and toast and everything in the morning when they're eating, fruits and good stuff. And that's probably why we're fat over here. So I kind of have to, I'll give them that. Spray cheese. How can you not like spray cheese? Spray cheese is awesome. Foreigners are not very fond of the American cheeses because it comes packed with salt, and most are very processed. This imitation cheese is cheaper, lower quality version of traditional cheese, and those from other countries would never dream of using it. Well, that's true. It's basically cheese-flavored cream. It's still good, though. You cannot find the traditional American cheese in other countries. That is true. You cannot, unless you go to the military stores to get it. Casseroles. Foreigners don't like casseroles. I kind of like casseroles. Many folks from other countries are used to eating many dishes at every meal, and just one dish doesn't cut it. Others are turned off by the soups we use in them to help bind them. So basically, they want their food separated, and they'll mix it in their stomach, where casserole, you just throw it all in one thing and you eat it. These soups are full of sodium. By the time you add crackers, crush the chips, the salt, it's a huge salt. We do have a very high sodium content here in America. I do agree with that. I'm actually watching my salt intake right now. Just, salt's not bad for you in little doses. But when you eat high sodium food that's got high sodium content in it, it can be bad for you. Coffee's going down good today. If you'd like to tweet in anything, go ahead and hit Twitter on the at Mike Allen. Armed Radio. Still working on the phone line here. The $100 studios of Armed Radio in the center of Texas. Now we're going to get that thing squared away probably next month, so you'll be able to call in and talk to me in the morning. That'd be kind of cool, I think. But right now we have the Twitter up, so if you'd like to tweet at Mike and hashtag it Armed Radio. All right, what else do we got here? Breakfast cereal. Oh, breakfast cereal. They don't like the breakfast cereal. Let's see here. I had to click past it. Many popular cereals in America are packed full of sugar, refined carbs, and lack of proper nutrition. Agreed. They're also highly processed and contain different chemicals and color dyes. Agreed. And that doesn't go over well. So those are the foods that foreigners don't like. Out of all those foods, the only one I can really agree with, or the only one I disagree with, that I like, that I don't understand why foreigners don't like, are the biscuits and gravy and the bacon and eggs. Everything else I can kind of see it because it's overprocessed. We have overprocessed food here in the United States. It's not very healthy. And if you're fighting a battle of the bulge, one of the things you need to do is get up and exercise. I've started this. My goal is to lose 80 pounds. I want to be down to about 230, 225, 230 by the end of the year. So I've got to change my eating. I've got to eat food that my body can use instead of food that my body can't use. Cut down on the alcohol consumption, not so much. Maybe 1 or 2 nights. Where I don't have to get up in the morning and do anything. So I kind of broke that rule last night because Joe and myself and Matt got on the old World of Tanks. We're running around a little bit and shooting stuff and talking smack. So I didn't quite follow my own rule. So I had some aspirin with my coffee this morning. And just take care of yourself. If you just get up and walk a mile a day, 20 minutes. You got 24 hours of the day. You can set one of those 24 hours aside and just do some exercise. Work up a sweat. And take a shower and go out in your day. What I've found is that the first couple of workouts that I do, where I walk and then I do the yoga, it seems like it's forever. You're watching the clock, but after a while you get into a rhythm, and it's not that long. It's almost like it's over before it starts. Kind of like this show. You listen to my show here on Monday morning a couple of times in the beginning. It just drags along. And then after a while, you get used to it, and then it flies by. And the next thing you know, it's over. Well, we are going to take a break. Take a couple commercials here. And when we get back, we're going to talk about the BLM Ranch versus the Nevada Rancher thing that's been all over the news. I got some insight on that, and I've got I got a guy that I found that's a lawyer who kind of lays it all out better than I ever could. Stick around. I'm Mike Allen. This is Monday Morning Brew, and you're listening to the Armed Radio Global Network.
Wow, that tiger lily on your shoulder has amazing colors.
Thanks. I just got this tattoo a week ago.
What? No way. That tattoo looks totally healed. My tattoos never looked that great after a week. What did you use on it?
It's not what I used on it, it's what I used in it.
Now you're just making fun of me. What do you mean in it?
Tattoo Rick told me that it's not only what you put on your tattoos, it's what you put in your body that also affects your tattoos.
Great. Another thing I have to change about my diet.
No, nothing like that. I take the tattoo pill.
Really? There's a pill for tattoos?
Yeah, it's called a tattoo pill. It's packed with 30 vitamins and minerals that your body needs to help operate at ideal level. It helps me before, during, and after my tattoo. Great thing is, it's made here in the United States from all natural ingredients. And for people like me that are vegetarians, the tattoo pill comes in a veggie capsule and is gluten-free.
Okay, you got me. Where do I get this tattoo pill?
TheTattooPill.com.
TheTattooPill.com?
Yes, all one word, TheTattooPill.com.
Route 106 Motors is the home of fine pre-owned vehicles. Experience a no-pressure sale with a family-friendly atmosphere. Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over a decade, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at Route106Motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. Route106Motors.com.
Do you think laughter is for sissies? Or do you hate Santa Claus? Do you know that somebody does? If you answer yes to either of these two questions, then see a therapist. And visit this website right now at TwerksFunnyT-shirts.com. The T in T-shirt is spelled T-E-E. Warning, these funny T-shirts and posters make great and may cause and hemorrhoids. Please visit the website right now at TwerksFunnyT-shirts.com, where you'll find some of the funniest T-shirts and posters on the web.
I'm Beth, and I'm Michelle, and I get to purchase with...
Whether building, expanding, or remodeling, the name in site work is Savino Contracting. Experts in demolition, excavation, sewer and septic tank installation, and site prep. Get in touch on Twitter at Savino Contract or call 508-989-0960 or email to evsavino@yahoo.com. Savino Contracting has what it takes to get the job done.
Hey, listen up. Are you tired of being tired? Looking for that extra boost? Do yourself a favor and visit buylimitlessenergy.com to learn about limitless energy. That's buylimitlessenergy.com for limitless energy. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Buylimitlessenergy.com. That's buylimitlessenergy.com. So stop wasting your life. Get limitless energy now.
Come join me, Matt Hazley, your host for Straight Talk, where we will take a journey into the deepest regions of your mind. Yeah, right. Nah, just kidding. Join me every Monday and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where every topic is fair game. Only on ARM Radio, home of the big guns.
All right, welcome back. Just recently, out in Nevada, the Bureau early morning Bureau of Land Management went head-to-head with one of the Nevada ranchers who's been supplying us with our beef here in America for generations. He owns a huge ranch out there. He also, through the local laws and state laws, was able to graze his free-range cattle out on public land, state-owned land. I want to make sure that you understand, state-owned land, not federally owned land, state-owned land. Well, recently, the Bureau of Land Management went in, not recently, in the early 90s, the Bureau of Land Management came in and started assessing usage fees on the local ranchers in Nevada. And the fees were so exorbitant that they would eat into their profits enough where they could no longer do business, and a lot of them went out of business. Well, this rancher, Cliven Bundy, said, I'm not going to pay these fees because you have no right to levy fees to me on state-owned land to a federal bureaucracy. Now, they said it was because of some turtle, some desert turtle that was endangered, and somehow the cows, which are animals, were threatening the turtles. Now, the turtles and the cows have been on that land for hundreds of years. Like I said, this is a generational thing. And there's no evidence whatsoever supporting that the cows had anything to do with the turtles' demise. As a matter of fact, the BLM, in order to save the turtles, went in and killed a bunch of them. That's a whole other subject. So basically what this is just the government's way of running this cattle rancher out of business. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in our country, our vast, humongous country, where we used to be, there used to be terms like cattle barons, and there used to be terms like cattle drives, and a lot of our western towns, Austin, Texas, where the capital of Texas, one of them, where we have pictures from the 1800s where cattle were being driven through downtown Austin. And the cattle barons and the rich, huge ranches out in Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, all revolving around raising cattle for beef, milk. And it used to be, we used to export our cattle. Now, American beef from the United States of America only consists of 3% of the total meat that we consume. The rest of it we import from Japan, from Europe. We're importing it because we've run all our ranchers out of business with fees and fines and taxes. So anyway, the BLM went there to take his cows off land that they do not own. But before I get into stumbling around, and this guy, and you can go find this guy on YouTube. He's a lawyer. He's a constitutional lawyer, and he's got all the links and everything. Go to YouTube and search The Real Triple B. And like his page, and he's got a lot of great insight, and I'm just going to go ahead and play the video that he has on YouTube concerning the truth about the BLM and the Bundy Ranch dispute, and then after we listen to this, we'll talk about it a while. This right here, I posted on Steve Marmel's thread about this. I said, look, you guys are listening here. Here, let this. I'm going to let this guy try to put into words what I can't. I don't have the svelteness to do, and it was deleted. So just another example of liberals who don't like the truth. You know, it's funny when you debate with a liberal, as soon as you start talking about things that are truthful and presenting facts, they call you names, they tell you you're stupid, and then they strut around like they won the argument. But anyway, here's the real Triple B, who's a lawyer and pro-Second Amendment advocate on the truth about the BLM Bundy Ranch dispute.
State and private.
Let's start that over again.
In 1976, it has the power to regulate all permitted uses of land in the United States, including federal, state, and private lands. It also has the power to create and define all of the regulations by which it governs those permitted uses over any land it decides to exert its authority over. Why is this so outrageous? When you go to court for a property dispute between you and your neighbor, you both argue your case, and the judge decides on how the relevant law applies. When you go to court for a property dispute against the BLM's argument is the law. We would be outraged if General Motors got to define the law for negligent manufacturing, or Dow Chemical were permitted to regulate what amounted to pollution in the ground and waterways. Why on earth do we tolerate the same behavior and legal standards from an unelected government bureaucracy? What, it's okay because its web address ends in .gov? Federal land management is nothing new. It goes all the way back to 1787 when Washington signed the Northwest Ordinance, which basically established the territorial sovereignty of the United States and allowed for the unionized expansion of our nation, as opposed to the state of Pennsylvania stretching all the way to the Pacific. From there on, the nation inherited a plethora of state and federal laws, regulations, and contracts. By the 1970s, this patchwork of laws had become insanely convoluted, complicated, and contradictory. So to help it all make sense again, we essentially merged all prior legislation into the 1976 Federal Land Policy and Management Act. And from thence to forth it was decreed that the BLM shall be established to effect and enforce all new aspects of this law. Sounds reasonable, right? If we're going to be a nation, let's have some clearly defined rules by we the people that establish how we're going to use our land. Ooh, see, that's the problem. Our elected representatives didn't draft any standards for how land should be used. They just defined what can be governed by the BLM. The definition of all boundaries and property lines, mining, energy use, water, waste disposal, critical infrastructure, recreation, environmental protection. Our elected representatives surrendered their entire legislative authority to unelected agents. Potential environmental disturbance zones, research areas, awareness programs, homeland planning. Not a single one of these things is legally defined in the legislation. The Land Policy and Management Act is not an anomaly in this regard. The Environmental Protection Act, the Endangered Species Act, the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act all defer absolute discretion to unelected officials. We've discussed before how federal firearms laws allowed the ATF the discretion to define arbitrary bans on guns and bullets, or how drug laws permit the DEA to make a list of legal substances today that are now the evidence of a felony tomorrow, or how the FDA can authorize a test study for a dangerous drug produced by Pfizer, and at the same time ban a naturally grown herb or protein that has proven medical benefits. For example, the BLM's Energy Directive used to only cover minerals that could be mined out of the ground, but now includes any suitable plot of land for solar panels or wind farms. The only potential oversight comes from the executive branch's authority to faithfully execute the laws of the nation. And here we are in 2014 with a president who can't stop bitching about how he doesn't have enough power. Essentially what we have with all these laws is our representatives have surrendered their legislative and oversight authority to the president, giving sole legal authority to one person, elected at this point by essentially less than 20% of citizens in the nation. Reminds me of a system of government our founders didn't like so much. Something about taxation without representation. This all brings us to the dispute in Bunkerville, Nevada at the Bundy Ranch. The Bundy family have been raising free-range cattle on this land since the 1800s. It's been in their interest to preserve it for future generations. They've complied with all applicable regulations and paid the reasonable fees for grazing on public land. In 1993, however, the BLM determined that new fees were required to compensate for damages, which they never really defined, to the habitat of the newly endangered desert tortoise, which the BLM determined at its own discretion resided in the exact same acreage that these ranchers were using to raise their cattle. And oh my stars, these fees were cost prohibitive to doing business as a rancher. And Clive Bundy watched all the other men he grew up doing business with and around be regulated right out of their industry. As an American watching his livelihood being stripped from him without due process, Clive Bundy pushed back and refused to pay these fees. And the Department of Interior responded by revoking his grazing permit. Ever since, the BLM and the Bundys have stood off in court. And it's important to note that the Bundy family does not reject the idea of logical land management, nor do they reject the idea of paying fair fees for their use of the land. They do, however, reject that the BLM can come in and, by their own definitions, arbitrarily change fees and regulations simply because they say so. But as I mentioned earlier, the BLM's argument is the law, and the judge ordered the roundup of the trespassing cattle, which is happening right now in April of 2014. Furthermore, because the BLM can arbitrarily regulate all land use, those First Amendment zones you see are not the zone where you have your rights versus the zone where you have some rights. They're the zones where you have your rights versus the area where you have no rights at all. The BLM has decreed that the land is closed, and if you go into closed lands, you're guilty of trespassing. In fact, they've been randomly even closing sections of road people are driving down. Where you're standing, that's now closed. You're under arrest for trespassing. What? Now you're resisting arrest. But assaulting a federal officer! In a state where a federal agency has determined it has that level of sole discretion and authority over 76% of the land, one kind of wonders if Nevada actually exists as a sovereign state. Have we seriously come to a point in our nation where the government can arbitrarily determine that any piece of ground you stand on is suddenly void of any legal right? A time where we accept the legality of an organization that openly brags about neutering and killing wild horses and shooting tortoises to protect them, and authorizing otherwise illegal forest clear-cutting as a conservation measure, an organization that openly sells its eminent domain capabilities to the highest bidder, someone who says, hey, I can do more with that land than that private owner can. Really? What now passes for due process and the militarization of the agencies which now define the law is far worse than taxation without representation. It's governance at gunpoint.
That's the real Triple B. You can find him on YouTube. He's got a lot of great videos on there. He's a lawyer, and he knows his stuff. So if that doesn't make it any clearer than mud, I thought it did. And we'll be back to talk about it. First, we're going to pay some bills. I'm Mike Allen, and you are listening to On the Air Monday Morning Brew right here on the Armed Radio Global Network.
Breaking news, sports fans. Daily Big Shot is in your face. Daily Big Shot is taking over fantasy sports. Fantasy sports players are raving about the bigger payouts and better scoring rules. Customers are running to sign up for free or play for daily entry fees. It's easy. Sign up, select players. Team with the most points wins. Sign up and enter DailyBigShot.com's free pro jersey or pro game ticket contest just by registering. DailyBigShot.com. Better payouts, better scoring, better fantasy sports. Some rules and restrictions may apply. See website for details.
Glastic water bottle, a shatterproof glass water bottle. It's great for any liquid because everything tastes best in glass. A leak-proof lid you can close and toss on the couch without worry. Chances are it won't ever break, but if it does, no worries. The glass is safely contained inside a protective outer shell, so you won't have a dangerous mess to clean up. You can safely remove the broken glass and get replacements. Go to GlasticWaterBottle.com to get your very own Glastic bottle today. That's GlasticWaterBottle.com. GLASSTIC waterbottle.com. What are you waiting for?
What if money were no longer a problem? What if you could earn extra money without risking what you are currently doing? We have an easy, cost-effective, and stable system for anyone that is money challenged or money motivated to kickstart their finances. Create a new potentially significant income source for as little as $1.25. Yes, that's 5 measly quarters. This is your solution for generating the kind of income you deserve. So dig 5 quarters out of your couch cushions and go to www.5quarterbusiness.com. Again, that's www.5quarterbusiness.com.
Do you want to lose weight, gain energy and performance, age more youthfully, or enhance your skin at the cellular level? Then Isogenics is for you. Simply take a portion of your grocery budget and put it towards your health. I understand life gets busy, but there is no better time to pursue your health goals than with Isogenics today. Barry Oxford would like to set up an appointment with you to answer any questions and help you better understand why Isogenics and why now. Please visit his website at www.barryoxford.isogenics.com. That's BARRYOXFORD.ISAGENIX.com to either buy products or sign up. Save 33% if you act right now. This message brought to you by Barry Oxford, your Isogenics independent associate.
Hey you, sitting in front of your computer dreaming that you could be paid to play games. Now it's possible. Start making money today playing new video games. How would you like to sit in the comfort of your own home, play and test games, eat pizza, drink soda, and get a nice big fat paycheck at the end of the month? This is a perfect opportunity for gamers, students, or someone that just doesn't have the time to commute to a dead-end part-time job, or for anyone who wants to sit in their pajamas and work from home. Join now, risk-free. Start your 7-day trial today at www.gamingjobsonline.com. That's www.gamingjobsonline.com. Game now.
This is Jason Merrill from the John and Jay Show every Tuesday nights at 11 Eastern on Live 365 Radio, home of the big guns.
Come join me, Matt Hazley, your host for Straight Talk, where we will take a journey into the deepest regions of your mind. Yeah, right. Nah, just kidding. Join me every Monday and Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where every topic is fair game. Only on ARM Radio, home of the big guns.
All right, we are back. Make sure you go like that guy's YouTube van. Got a lot of good videos. We're probably going to go back. I'm trying to get him on the show here soon. But more about this out in the ranch. There's a great article on the townhall.com, which is a conservative website. Again, more truth, more people that get it. That get what was going on out there. I mean, folks, we can't ignore this anymore. We can't. If Obamacare wasn't enough to scare you into to how far our government has gone off track with the Constitution, and how far off our elected officials have gone. And it's not that they're liberal or conservative. They're not. They're up there becoming millionaires by dividing the nation through propaganda, through the news shows. And once they get us divided, then they can play on us, our emotions, and just throw stuff out there and lie to us. I mean, if you don't understand that that's what's going on, if you don't get it, that's what's going on. Anyway, out at the BLM Ranch, Clive and Bundy stood off with the feds, and a lot of speculation on how this didn't turn into another Waco or how this didn't turn into another Ruby Ridge. And here's a couple of reasons why it didn't. And this comes from thetownhall.com, an excellent article by Kevin McCullough that was posted yesterday, April 13th. This is why the feds chickened out on the Nevada Ranch. You can go to townhall.com and check up on this. I'll provide a link on Facebook, as a matter of fact. I'll share it right now so you guys can go and read this for yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and like this page, too, because these guys look like townhall.com. I might try to get some of these writers on my show. I think that'd be a good thing. Oh, I just lost it. But the townhall.com is where I'm getting this Let's get back to the page. I closed it out. Didn't mean to. See if I can find it now. Anyway, had a couple insights on why this didn't turn into another Waco and why it didn't turn into another Ruby Ridge. Well, for one reason why is because unlike Ruby Ridge, people showed up. Citizens showed up. And they showed up and said, yeah, we're not going to do this. You're not going to do this to one of our fellow citizens. The militia showed up. I don't know if it was actually an organized militia, but that's what, that's what the news was calling. That's what the propagandists were calling them. And I wouldn't mind being called a militia member if I'm standing up for the Constitution. If I'm standing up for a fellow American, absolutely. I don't mind being called a militia member at all, as a matter of fact. See, I closed the dang page. Dang it. Oh, man. Anyway, another one of the reasons why is since people showed up and we have now our technology, our private technology, has gotten to the point where everybody's got a cell phone. All the cell phones have video and cameras attached to them, so you can't hide. You can't. And if you look at this was brought up on Alex Jones yesterday too, and I don't agree with everything Alex says, but he was right on this. A lot of the stuff that was presented on the news, even Fox News and MSNBC, about what was going on out there was very watered down. It was very edited. There at one point, camera crews from InfoWars and private citizens with cell phones that uploaded their videos later were walking towards the feds. The feds had their guns leveled at them. All the militia members had their guns pointed down. And it's basically, we're not going to do anything unless you shoot us. And then we're going to shoot back. And you can clearly hear the federal police officer saying, stop or we will kill you. And you can hear the other folks saying, go ahead and kill us. We're ready. Let's do this. And now the left wing is going to say that the militia members were provoking it and they want a war. I want to speak on behalf, and I'm sure every militia member out there listening right now, and we've got a lot of listeners this morning, and thank you very much for tuning in. You can tweet me at Mike Allen Sports, hashtag Armed Radio. I'll read your tweet live on the air. I don't believe there's any American citizen that wants to have another civil war. I don't believe there's any American citizen that really, in their heart, wants to shoot fellow Americans. I think we've progressed beyond that as a nation. I think we've progressed beyond that kind of thought process. But just because we don't want to, just because the end goal isn't to have an armed uprising against our government, which I hope never happens, doesn't mean that as a nation, as a people, that we're going to back down when pushed. And I think that's what the government expects us to do now, is just back down. Just back down and comply. That's why when he was talking about in his video, when he was talking about the land management folks just coming in and saying, this guy here, now that land is now off limits. You can't be there anymore. You're trespassing. And people just were like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll move. And these guys said, no, we're not moving. We've been too accustomed to backing down when our government that we elected, our elected officials, come up with all these cockamamie stuff to take more of our rights away, more of our freedoms away, and then at the last minute we back down. Because some left-winger is going to call us the nut jobs and say that we want an armed conflict. I'm really beginning to think that the officials, the elected officials and the government and the bureaucracies that this guy talks about, the BLM and others, they're the ones that want the armed confrontation. They're the ones that want to shoot their fellow citizens. They might want to shoot us, but they want us to back down. They want us to be compliant. Clyde Bundy watched all his neighbors, like this guy said, watched all his neighbors get priced out of their business. Now, our American beef only accounts for 3% of all the beef consumed by the United States of America. That is crazy. We should not be importing any beef from anywhere. We should be leading the world in beef production. We should be leading the world in farm production. The government is paying farmers to kill their crops because they're managing it. Why don't you just let the farmers, why don't you get Monsanto out of there, Monsanto or whatever the hell that company's called, why don't you just let the farmers grow their damn crops? How about that? How about you just let the farmers go back to a free market and capitalism? Why don't you leave these ranchers alone and let them raise their cattle? They're not deadbeats. They're feeding us, you idiots. You talk about kids don't have enough food, and then you want to kill off the people or you want to run the people out of business that are providing the food. How stupid are you, liberals? Wake up. Stop kissing the feet of a government that is doing this to you. And I'm uninformed. I don't know what I'm talking about. Every month I got to sit down and figure out my taxes. Every month, 32 cents of every dollar I make, I put aside to pay the federal government for all these school lunches and all these heart-rending families in poverty and all this stuff that the Democrats and the liberals parade in front of you is the reason why I, as a producer in this country, have to pay more. But then they can't even balance a budget. None of them can, Republicans or Democrats. And we're giving billions, not millions, billions away to other countries. Pretty much 80% of the world, 80% of the world gets subsidies from us. What a way to start a Monday. Get informed, folks. This November, we're going to be voting. Go vote. If you're a liberal and you're listening and you're getting all mad at me right now, that's fine. You have your opinion. That's great. Have that opinion. Be passionate about it, but be informed about what you're passionate about. Don't fall down on the wrong side of what's going on just because emotionally you want to feel good about something. Inform yourself about the elected officials that you're going to be putting in office. Get to know who it is that you're voting for. Hold them up to the Constitution. Hold them up to the Constitution, and if they don't match up to the foundation of what our founding fathers' vision of what this country could be, then don't vote for them. But vote. Get out and vote. Less than 20% of our nation voted in the last general election. 20%. That's crazy. 300 million people. 300 million people, 20% voted for the president of our nation. That means 1 out of every, 10 people? So one citizen dictated to the other 9 how our country's going to go. Go vote. Vote and make it count. The Real Triple B on YouTube is where I got that video. He's got many more videos. Go visit him. Go like him. Like him on Facebook. Find him on Facebook. Like him on Facebook. And this guy's got some good insight, and I'm going to try to get him on the show. I'm definitely going to try to get him on the show. I've reached out, and hopefully he'll come on. And we'll have Triple B come on and have a conversation. And maybe I'll get him on the show when we have phone calls, and we take phone calls. And we'll put it out there. If you tweet the show, I will read your tweet. Even if it says, I hate you, Mike, and you're a sorry piece of crap, I'll read it. Because it's your opinion, and you have a right to that opinion. But tweet me at Mike Island Sports, hashtag it on the air, hashtag it Armed Radio, and that'll show up on my tweet deck. And we'll read your tweets online. We got a lot of shows coming up this week, folks. This week's going to be a full one, a full show. This afternoon, Tattoo Rick will join. Will come on, and he'll talk about tattoos and all sorts of fun stuff. He's got a great show. It's Tattoo Rick and Tara. His wife, Tara, joins him on the air, and she's fantastic. They work well together, have a great on-air chemistry. It's a fun show. It's 12 noon here on the Armed Radio Global Network. Then Matt Hastley closes it out tonight, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and he's going to have a lot to talk about tonight. Man, that Masters was awesome this weekend. And he's got a chance to give away a golf bag. So make sure you tune in to Matt's show and see how you can win a really nice golf bag. And I'm not eligible. I think I might just drive up there and steal it. Tomorrow night, the ladies take their turn, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Talk Time with Valenistama. She'll be on talking about the hot topics of the day. I think her tagline is the hot spot for the hot topics. And you can listen to her starting at 7 p.m. And then at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Talking Smack with Regina is going to come on. And I think JJ is going to be on Thursday. You can get all the shows and times on armedradioglobal.com if I miss one. Then Wednesday night, I'm back on the air. And this Wednesday night, we'll have Niall Chavez of Belts of Honorius, Cage of Athena, which will be kicking off this Friday. For all of those of you who are here in Texas, down at the Nutty Brown Cafe, 20 amateur MMA bouts. Yours truly will be in the ring, introducing those fine fighters, and about half of them are women fighters, amateur women fighters. All these folks are trying to get to Bellator and UFC, so it's a fun time. It's a good time, and these guys put a lot of time and effort and heart into their craft. So if you're here in the Texas area, go to cagetix.com and get your tickets. Thursday night, the girls are back. Valenistama comes on at 7 Central Standard Time. Then Joe Rocks, Night Talk. Him and his cohort, the Dog, come on and they'll entertain you for a while. He comes on at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then Regina's back on again at 11 Central Standard, midnight Eastern. Do some more talking smack. And since it's so late at night and all the kiddies are in bed, you don't know what's going to happen, really. I have no idea what's going to happen. I listen to her show just because I have no idea what's going to happen. It's that crazy. And then Friday night, Matt comes back, closes out the week, and sends us off into the weekend, starting at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Straight Talk with Matt Hazley. So that's a full load. All the other times you can listen to music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, 24 hours a day. Throw it up in your office. If you'd like to buy advertising, contact us at armedradio at armedmedia.net, and we will give you the package and how you can advertise with us, and we can drive some likes to your Facebook pages. We've had great success with our sponsors so far. We've doubled, tripled, and even quadrupled the exposure that the folks that come and advertise with us in Armed Radio Global. So we'd like to include you in that family, and then we can play your commercials on high-quality shows like my train wreck this morning, which goes by way too fast, but I got to get out of here. I got to get another cup of coffee. Thanks for joining in today. I appreciate the listeners. I can see there we had quite a few listeners from all over the place. This has been a production of Armed Radio Global, Studio 6 Entertainment, and Mike Allen Sports. I'll be here every Monday morning, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time for Monday Morning Brew. Grab a cup of coffee, and I'll get your week going right. For all you folks out on the East Coast, thank you for joining me. It's only, 8 o'clock now? 7 o'clock? 8 o'clock? Out on the West Coast, my hardcore listeners had to get up at 4 in the morning. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week.
Hang on.